So you want to go to Belize in 2022. I traveled to Belize a few months ago in August 2021, and it very quickly became my favorite place in the world. Beautiful beaches, awesome boats, relaxing islands, great food, and the friendliest people I've met anywhere in the world. It's considerably cheaper than most well-known travel destinations. Although I traveled there in 2021, I've done some research, and all the current prices are generally the same for 2022. All the prices in this video are going to be listed in US dollars, but keep in mind, in Belize they use the same dollar sign and also call them dollars, but the exchange rate from Belize dollars to US dollars is almost exactly 2 to 1. And at the time that I went, it was exactly 2 to 1, but economy and currency rates change over time, so be sure to do some research before you go. Also, English is very commonly spoken in Belize. You won't have a hard time if you have to ask a local any questions. Let's start with the time of year that you choose to go. Prices start dropping for the low season from May to November. The weather will be hot, around 90 degrees Fahrenheit almost all day every day, with frequent rain and thunderstorms that last for no more than an hour at a time. If you want your trip as cheap as possible, this is what you'll have to deal with. After experiencing it firsthand, I guarantee it's not nearly as bad as it sounds. Alright, now for the prices. Cost of flights can drastically vary depending where you come from, but for this example, using Tuesday, June 5th to Tuesday, June 12th, 2022 as a baseline, I've gathered a few prices from common airports around the world, and heads up, flights from the US are going to be many times cheaper than other international flights. Another pro tip, all the flights I book are through a website called Skyscanner. You tell it when and where you want to go, and it will sort all of the results from all the airlines and give you all the details and the cheapest prices. For these dates, a round-trip flight from LAX costs around $550. From JFK is also around $550. From Houston, Texas is around $350. From Chicago is around $450. As for outside of the US, from Calgary is $600. From London is $800. From Sao Paulo, Brazil is $1,100. From Cape Town, South Africa is $1,700. From Melbourne, Australia is $1,900. And for a flight across the world from Beijing, China is over $4,000. So if you're inside the US, you're chillin', but if you're on the far eastern side of the world, you might want to skip Belize unless you've got an extra $4K to blow. In that case, I recommend Indonesia for a closer tropical experience to you. Now that flights are out of the way, let's look at housing options, mainly hotels and hostels. If you're going cheap, hostels are definitely the way to go. Basic rooms and hostels around Belize cost an average of $15 per night in most cities. Hotels in the same area are much more expensive, being around $100 per night. This is partially due to the fact that most hotels in Belize are much more luxurious since it's a tropical vacation spot. Depending what city you choose, these prices can fluctuate. For example, a room in Placencia, an upscale city in southern Belize, will cost much more than somewhere like Belmopan. And also beware of the islands and the keys in Belize. Rooms may be cheaper there, but keep in mind that they're on very touristy islands, so the amenities are going to be much lower quality, and prices of food and activities will be much higher. Alright, now for the fun part that I'm sure most of you guys have been looking forward to, food and alcohol. The national beer of Belize is the brand Belikin. It's not great, but it's cheap, and there's exactly 1 metric fuckload of it. Chances are when you go to any hotel or hostel bar, they're going to offer you either Belikin or the Belize Special rum punch. When I went, I felt like I survived solely off of rum punch and beer for my entire 10 days there. Beers and some mixed drinks are only going to cost you around $2 USD, but at the hotel bar might be more expensive. At one hotel, I remember paying $12 for a single Long Island iced tea, but on the other end, I actually found one local restaurant that served strong mixed drinks for only $3. As for food, it's generally pretty cheap everywhere you go except hotel bars. A shrimp pasta in Placencia at the hotel costed me $15 US, but a fat burrito in a local shop in San Ignacio only costed $4. Another one worth mentioning was when I stopped at a tamale shack in the middle of the mountainous jungle on the way to Placencia and got my first tamale ever for only $2. I recommend budgeting around 15 to 20 per person per day for food if you're looking to grab some cheap local options and a few beers, or if you're feeling a little saucy, around 50 per day if you're looking to eat out at restaurants and have a few mixed drinks. Alright, moving on to transportation, this is where things get tricky. Not a lot of people in Belize can afford nice cars, or any car for that matter, so plan ahead when you want to travel across town or to a new city. If you want a taxi or a similar service, expect to pay around $20 each direction for a crosstown journey. If you want to take a boat from the mainland to one of the keys, Ambergris Key for example, where I went, costs between $20 and $30 each direction depending on the time of year and how busy they are. There's also multiple other water taxis that can take you around the islands or down a river to get you where you need to go, but expect them to be around the same price. Walking is always an option and it's free, but remember some places in Belize are still not all that safe. It's highly advised that you don't walk around alone in the capital of Belize City at night. As long as you have good judgment and common sense, you'll be fine. Everyone I met in the whole country while I was there was super nice and friendly. Alright everybody, now for the main attraction, all the awesome activities. I'll go over the best ones and the ones that I did and hopefully give you guys a good idea of how much everything generally costs. Obviously there's hundreds of things to do, so I can't go over every single one. But the ones that you should mainly know about are the following. Taking a boat ride to the reefs to snorkel with wildlife will cost you between $70 to $100 per person. There's hundreds of companies and tour guides all around Belize that do these, so check out a few, compare the prices, and choose what's best for you. Next up, ziplining in San Ignacio will cost you between $100 and $160 depending on the package you choose and the zipline course you choose. Cave tubing in San Ignacio is $100 per person. Chocolate factory tours are between $20 and $30. Tubing behind a speedboat was $20, and some of the Mayan ruin tours may be free, but the guides survive solely off of tips and handmade authentic goods they sell in their stands just outside of the ruins. So please don't be cheap and refuse to tip if they give you a free tour. All in all, I really can't recommend Belize enough. I had the best time of my life while I was there. The people you'll meet, the food, the unforgettable activities, the wildlife, and just the relaxation of being in such a tropical place. These are all things that you absolutely have to experience for yourself to truly understand. I hope this video helped a lot of you guys and encouraged some of you to travel to Belize and see it for yourself. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment below. I'm still a small channel, so I'm always checking out the comments and replying to you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe and help me out and stay informed of my future videos. Check out my past videos and the 2-part series I made on my trip to Belize. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.